Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to episode 57 of Wrestling with Brent. Got a lot to talk about today. It was a big week in professional wrestling. Sorry I'm so late getting out this video. I had to watch the end of GCW Homecoming Part 2 this morning. Um, and it took me all day to be able to get to shoot a video and to get all my information together. And anyway, a lot to talk about. As usual, I'm going to be going over the results of the shows. Before that, I'm going to just give my general opinion of things. A lot to talk about. Uh, so let's get into it. As you all now know by now, you've heard the rumors going around the last week or so. A lot of big talk in the wrestling world, wrestling community. Um, it looks like AEW has signed Bryan Danielson, formerly Daniel Bryan, to a contract to AEW. Very exciting. I was very happy when I heard this. I was very surprised, to be honest. Um, I'm a big fan of Bryan Danielson. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. I think he's a good guy, very smart, knows the business well, knows wrestling. He can do promos. He can be any character, a good guy or a bad guy. He put up with his heel run in WWE. Uh, as the Planet's champion, he's just a really very talented guy. Great wrestler, puts on great matches. He can work with anybody, do any style. Uh, he can do anything you need him to. Uh, so it'd be a huge get for AEW, and I'm just very surprised. Um, if it is true, if it turns to be true. Um, yeah. So that's awesome. I'm really happy Daniel Bryan might be in AEW. Also, now attached to that, come out at the same time, supposedly CM Punk is also signed to AEW. They're in negotiations, have been in negotiations for a while now. Supposedly that's the rumor. And he's going to show up at All Out in Chicago in his hometown. Uh, I'll be honest, I'm excited, a little excited, but not really. But he's just been gone for so long, been away from wrestling for so long. I've always was a fan of his. I like him. Was a fan of his. He was a very good wrestler, very good promo. But part of his character, he was just very whiny. I got tired of him whining and complaining every week. So hopefully he don't come back and do all that same mess, all that I'm straight edge mess. He was doing that. Turns out I was watching a few old MLW episodes recently. He was on there years ago in a storyline with Raven, and he was doing that. I'm straight edge. I'm drug free, alcohol free, this and that. So finally, if he comes back to AEW, he's got to do something completely different to separate himself, to stand out. He just got to wow me. Uh, you know. If he comes out with the same type of look, same music, don't get me wrong, I love that Coach Personality song, but he needs to do something different, uh, in my opinion. Um, and like I said, I'm a fan of his, always been a fan of his. I like his matches, even his early stuff. But it's a situation, my personal opinion. He's been gone for so long. Uh, and after he left, he talked a lot of crap about wrestling, saying he didn't watch it anymore. He didn't want nothing to do with it. He was an MMA fighter. He don't care about wrestling anymore. He didn't love it anymore. He wasn't passionate about it. He pretty much just like was like bumped the wrestling business and all this and that. Now all of a sudden he wants to come back. I get they probably offered him a lot of money and stuff, but his MMA career didn't pan out like I thought it would. Personally, a lot of people said he wouldn't, but they didn't expect to do anything. I did, but he got, pretty much killed. It was a disaster. Um, and just my thing on him is, like I said, he's been gone for so long. I mean, who cares? At this point, it's kind of cool to see him, but like not really. Like, oh, okay, CM Punk's back. All right. Uh, just when he's been gone for so long, and it's been rumored that he's coming back so many times. CM Punk's coming back. CM Punk's coming back. Oh my God, he should have been showing a mask and attack somebody. CM Punk's back in wrestling, and then nothing ever happened. He continued to just kind of disappear. Um, Continued to distance himself from wrestling, and now suddenly wants to come back. So, I'd be happy to see him back, but as far as him making a big impact, I don't really see it. He's just been gone so long. It's to the point it's like, why bother? Who cares? You know, uh, it's kind of my example of this. Guns N' Roses. They talked about making that album Chinese Democracy for the last 20 years. Uh, and they kept saying every year, it's coming out, it's coming out, it's coming out. It never came out to a few years ago when he actually put it out. It was more or less an Axl Rose solo album, which I actually liked. I thought was very good, very different, very weird. But of course, most people hated it. It pretty much bombed. It didn't live up to the hype after 20 some years. You know, like I said, he took so long for the comeback, Axl Rose. And, I've actually watched his Vegas show. He's come out with Guns N' Roses, and it's pretty good, I like it. But he changed his voice. His voice and all that's different, and just, uh, he stayed away for so long. Uh, by the time he came back, it was just like, oh, really? Axl Rose is back. Okay, It just, how he stayed gone so long, it ruined his lust, ruined the excitement. And I feel that same way about CM Punk. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But apparently he's almost 100% confirmed to be at AEW as the reports to be believed. But I'm not 100% buying it because it's CM Punk. You just never know with him. He could pull out the last minute and go home like he did before. So, you never know. Yep. So those two things are exciting. Also, found out earlier this week, AEW has officially signed Thunder Rosa. Finally, it's about time. I'm glad they signed her. They signed her on her birthday, and I'm happy for her. Congrats to her. She deserves it. She's a great female wrestler, one of my favorites. I'm a big fan of hers. Big Thunder Rosa mark. Anything Thunder Rosa, I love her. I love her attitude, promos. Seems like a nice person. She's beautiful, puts on great matches, can wrestle any style, can wrestle anybody, man, woman, it don't matter. She puts on great matches, whoever she wrestles with. She's very professional, very likable, very hardworking. Seems like a super sweet woman in person. So very happy for her, and I'm glad AEW finally signed her full-time officially. So very happy for her. Uh, like I said, she's one of my favorite female wrestlers. I think one of the best wrestlers in the world. Her and Charlotte Flair is probably the top two wrestlers. It is. Female wrestling is, in my opinion. Um, so congrats to Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa, if you see my video, if you see this, I love you, and congrats. Happy to see you in AEW, and you're great and you're awesome. So congrats to Thunder Rosa. Uh, all right. Now, going to talk a little bit about the shows. Uh, don't have much to say about the WWE here lately. Same old mess. Uh, Monday night was terrible. Last Monday night, they had Karrion Kross come up from NXT and debut. He dropped to Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy beat him in 5 minutes with a roll up and by using the ropes. That was ridiculous. Stupid. They took his entrance away. They took Karrion Kross's cool entrance away. Didn't have Scarlett with him. Took her away. Everything that made him awesome in NXT is like the complete opposite. Seemed like just another guy, and they just pretty much ruined him. He cut a cool little promo afterwards, said, you gotta pay, but you know, uh, God, WWE strikes again. Vince strikes again, it seems like. So there you go. Friday night SmackDown was okay. I liked the atmosphere when they was outside at the music festival, with the fans. I thought it was funny when Street Profits come out, they didn't get a pop at all. Like the crowd was dead, didn't know who they was, or they could care less. The crowd did pop a little bit when Bianca Belair come out. So the atmosphere and having the rings outside was cool. But this show was alright. It wasn't nothing special. It was kind of my opinion of life. It kind of sucked. Nothing was really good on it except for all the women's stuff was pretty good. Like WWE's been as a whole, just the women's stuff's been good. Everything else has been kind of blah. The Roman Reigns stuff was good at the end. Him and Cena trading shots back and forth. Roman cut a really good promo. So did Cena on Monday night on Roman. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. WWE, just all the same stuff, Whatever. Like I said, Goldberg come back Monday night, I like Goldberg and everything, but, whatever. He's probably going to come in and win a match too, and then he'll job out and lose, and he'll be gone again, Eh, whatever. So there's that. Now, Saturday, had the Ring of Honor show, TV show, and also you had MLW's huge show kicking off their new season. This was the Battle Riot pre-show. It was emerged on YouTube and on beIN Sports. My cable company don't carry beIN Sports no more, so I can't watch it on that. So I had to watch it on YouTube. The show was pretty good. It was okay. I didn't love it. It was kind of disappointment just because I had it. I was so hyped for it. They hyped it up really good. In my opinion, it didn't live up to the hype, but it was still, pretty good. Uh, it was all right. Uh, had Conan come out and he had a new LAX with him. He's formed a new LAX. Yep, so there's that. And then, in the Battle Royal, the Battle Riot, it had a 40-man Battle Royal. Had a few surprising names. Had Black, they was in the old ECW arena, 2300 Arena, Philadelphia. Um, they had Blue Meanie come out. He was in the match. Um, Sabio Vega, he'd been up in MLW the last couple of years. L.A. Park, La Parca, he was in there. Um, Jordan Oliver, All of Injustice, they was made an appearance. But it came down to, which was a big storyline in MLW the last couple of years, Country Unit. One of the members, Mod Kruger and Hammerstone. That's the only guy Hammerstone couldn't beat. It came down to them two in the ring, and Hammerstone used a spike that Mod Kruger introduced, and Hammerstone took it to Mod Kruger, uh, and he clotheslined him over the top rope, and Hammerstone won, and he's going to get a chance to go against Fatu for the title anytime he wants. So that was the beginning. Like I said, it was all right. It was nothing great. It didn't live up to the hype, in my opinion. It kind of underperformed, kind of lackluster, in my opinion, just because I had so much hype for it. They really typed it up for months. But it was good. It was still better than WWE. It was all right. Uh, so the Battle Riot show, like I said, it's pretty good. I give it a 6 out of 10. Yep. So there's that. Now, also, uh, we had the Ring of Honor TV show. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the Ring of Honor TV show, and then I'm going to go back to the AEW show and go over that, give my thoughts on that, and then go over, all the shows. Uh, Yep. So we had the Ring of Honor Saturday TV show. First match was Flip Gordon against world famous CB. It was a very good match. Very back and forth. I liked what they do with Cheeseburger, this whole new gimmick he's character he's got. I liked it. But Flip Gordon beat him. It was a good, hard fought match. I liked it. I like Flip Gordon as a heel as well. He's just super talented. One of my favorite wrestlers. Uh, but anyway, Flip Gordon beat World CB. It was an 8-minute, 46-second match. Good match. The next match was PCO versus Sledge. They had Danhausen on commentary, which I loved. Thought he was hilarious. I just loved to hear him talk. I love Danhausen, just some of his facial expressions, his interaction with the announcers, and just the things he says. He cracks me up, and I think he's a good wrestler. Just very different, just very odd, weird, different, out there, just so outside the box, different. I dig it. Um, I love PCO. I liked what I saw of Sledge. It was a good match, but it ended in a no contest. They just fought and beat the crap out of each other outside. That's how it ended. But yeah, really cool match. I liked it. Anytime I get to see PCO, I get excited. He's just really cool. His character, and he's just such a good wrestler. And the amount of bumps he takes for a guy his age, and he can move for a big man, even at his age, just really crazy. He can flip and all that. He's awesome. Yeah. So one of my favorites. So, cool match. I liked it. It was good. Then the main event was a triple threat match. Dak Draper against Dalton Castle against Eli Isom. It was a 6-minute, 21-second match. Dalton Castle, I thought it was funny how he didn't do much in the match, but then he acted like he won, and he got the boys involved, and they did like a little motion thing. And Dalton Castle acted like he won the match, even though he didn't win. Uh, but Dak Draper won the match. He beat Dalton Castle and Eli Isom. It was a good match. I like Eli Isom. He seems like he gets better the more I watch him wrestle. The more I see him in the ring, he gets better and better. Uh, Dak Draper, I like him as too. He did a good job as well. So did Dalton Castle, which was a fun match. I liked it. A good match. Yep, so this was a good Ring of Honor episode. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Because they had Dan Houser on commentary, give it a 6.5 out of 10. It was a good show. I liked it. Yep. Now on to the just talk a little bit about AEW, and then I'm gonna talk about the show, and then I'm gonna go into the GCW stuff, and some of the GCW AEW stuff kind of crossover, and you'll see what I mean. Uh, like I said with AEW, you have rumors of Bryan Danielson coming in, CM Punk coming in. They signed Thunder Rosa. I still think they're going to end up signing Braun Strowman eventually. I think Lana's going to come eventually, both when their contracts are up. I believe their contracts are up on like the end of August, August 31st, or August 29th. I believe it's the August 31st. So there's that. Um, now, uh, AEW Fighter Fest I thought was really good. Night 1 was good. I really enjoyed Fighter Fest Night 2 as well. Um, Now, part of what we're going to say is going to crossover, but on Wednesday, um, not the first Fighter Fest, but the second Fighter Fest show, um, night 2, uh, on night 1, um, Chris Jericho ended up beating Shawn Spears. Uh, During Wednesday's night 2's episode, MJF made a thing, said, "All right, but my next challenge for this labels of Jericho. Um, I'm going to put you up against the most sadistic wrestler I could find. Is the most sadistic wrestler in the world. He used to he robbed a bank at one time. Nick Gage. Out came Nick Gage in his face mask and his ski mask, bandana. It looked awesome. Did a little something different to his entrance music. It was cool. I liked it. So happy to see Nick Gage in AEW. Like if you remember on my channel recently, I said I thought he would be in AEW eventually against the feud with Moxley. I was surprised they put him against Jericho, but yeah. I believe Jericho's going to eventually beat Nick Gage because I believe this whole end game is designed him to get to MJF and them have their match. Uh, I do think even though Nick Gage loses, I think something happens after he ends up clocking MJF or something. Uh, yeah, so I'm really excited to see Nick Gage in AEW. Like I said, a big Nick Gage fan. I've become a big Nick Gage fan ever since Dark Side of the Ring episode. I've watched a lot of his recent matches. I've been watching all his GCW stuff the last several weeks, and I watched his interview with Chris Van Vliet on YouTube. It was very good. Just super interesting guy, and yeah, I'm a big fan of his. So I'm excited he's in AEW. I wish he would sign and have more matches, but you know. Uh, but the reason why I'm bringing this up so early is uh, crossing over into um, GCW at Homecoming Night 1. The final match was for the GCW World Heavyweight Championship, the title. Nick Gage versus Matt Cardona. Zack Ryder from the WWE. Him and Nick Gage have been going at it online, for the last month or so. Uh, Matt Cardona showed up and they had a match. It was a good match. I was interested to see how Zack Ryder would do. Matt Cardona would do in this type of match. Matt Cardona done well. They beat the crap out of each other, a lot of blood. Uh, Gage busted him open. He busted Nick Gage open. But I knew something was up. It come down to the end of the match. A bunch of these people come out. It was a rival faction of Nick Gage. I forget the name off the top of my head. But it was Ricky Shane Page was a guy and a bunch of other ones. They surrounded the ring. Nick Gage and Ricky Shane Page fought up another faction. Fought off another faction of guys, cleared them out, and then Ricky Shane Page turned on Nick Gage, beat the crap out of Nick Gage. Him and Matt Cardona and the whole rest of the group that was in there, faction, gained up on Nick Gage, beat the crap out of Nick Gage. Matt Cardona hit Nick Gage with a light tube, bust him over the head. Hit him with the radio silence, which is maybe used in WWE, called it the hype rider. Now it's the radio silence. Hit him with that same hype rider flying leg drop move for a finishing and got the pin on Nick Gage 1, 2, 3. Busted open Nick Gage pouring blood, uh, laying at the lights. After it was over, going out to the ring, Matt Cardona was cussing and flipping the fans off. Fans was flipping and cussing him off. As soon as Nick Gage's shoulders got pinned to the mat 1, 2, 3, the bell rang. He was the new champion. He was in the ring. Fans started immediately throwing trash in the ring, throwing plastic bottles, plastic cups. It was hilarious. They was throwing trash, trash talking Matt Cardona. He was laughing, loving it, getting the heat, uh, loving it. Fans was outraged. The announcers was outraged. They was like, "Oh, I'm disgusted. I can't believe he actually beat Nick Gage. This is disgusting. F you, Matt Cardona." The crowd started saying, "F you, Matt Cardona." This and that. They was throwing stuff, trash filled the ring really high. It was hilarious. I thought it was very hilarious. I thought it was funny. Uh, Macadona could tell he loved it. Macadona was busted open. Macadona, as soon as he got his title, he kind of showed off a little bit in the ring. He got it out of the ring, hightailed it, ran as fast as he could out of the arena, out of the place, went through the doors, took the title all the way out. I mean, he was gone in a flash. Like he knew he messed up, if he didn't get out of there, somebody was going to hurt him. Yeah. So Matt Cardona is your new GCW champion, and Nick Gage just left. Look at the lights. But I bring this up early because it's interesting how Nick Gage lost the title, and now he's got this match on AEW coming on. So does this mean he's going to have more matches in AEW? Who knows? Also, but you saw too, they had like a storyline with this. After Nick Gage got knocked out the other night, Saturday night, uh, the next night, last night, Sunday night, Nick Gage come out again, and Matt Cardona's lawyer come out. Matt Cardona's lawyer is Mark Sterling, the same one MJF had on Dynamite. MJF's attorney and Jade Cargill's attorney manager, Mark Sterling, that same one. He come out as Matt Cardona's lawyer last night during GCW and said some stuff to the fans, was cracking on the fans, and saying they want me vaccinated, don't touch me. He's wearing a mask and demands the ring be cleaned up, even though he just swept it, said it needed to be more clean. Before he stepped in it, he basically said Matt Cardona has a message for all you GCW fans, after GCW Universe, and this and that. This led to Nick Gage coming out. He basically beat the crap out of Mark Sterling. It was hilarious, and then came down to MJF, not MJF, but Nick Gage and a bunch of the other GCW deathmatch wrestlers. They come out, and him and Alex Colon and a few other people, and they come out and they join forces with Nick Gage. They said at the next GCW event they're going to have a War Games match. MDK's team against Ricochet and Page's team, the guys that helped Matt Cardona beat up Nick Gage and helped Matt Cardona win the title. So yeah, that was that. That was really cool. Yep. So there's all your Nick Gage info, the latest with him. Now back to AEW, and I'm gonna go over the GCW shows, match by match, and then it'll be done. All right. So this was the first night of Fyter Fest. It was a very good show. I really enjoyed it. And I might have already reviewed night one last week, but I'm going to just go over it again quickly in case I didn't, just because it's been so long. Just thought I'd throw it in again, because I'm talking about night two. So, do you remember the first match was John Moxley against Cole Anderson with Doc Gallows for the IWGP title? John Moxley beat him. It was a good match. I liked it. Had a promo by Lance Archer afterwards. Brian Gage against Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks beat him. We talked about that already. The Elite, had a thing. So, yeah, I believe we talked about night one. But I just want to give you a little bit of recap on night one. Yep. It ended with the big coffin match. So that was a very good match. I really liked it. So, yep, night one. Now, on to AEW Fyter Fest night two. So the first match was Chris Jericho, Shawn Spears. Like I said, Jericho ended up beating Shawn Spears. And this led to MJF coming out and basically said his next match is going to be against Nick Gage on Dynamite next week. So I'm very excited about that. Yep. Next, we get a promo from Miro. It was a good promo. Next, we had a match between Frank Kazarian and Doc Gallows. The first solo match for Doc Gallows in AEW. It was a good short match. I wish it would have been longer, but I thought it was good for what it was. I thought for Kazarian would get to win. He's the Elite Hunter now. Well, he's been attacking the Elite the last few weeks. But to my surprise, Luke Gallows got the win. He kind of deserved it. Luke Gallows, because they kind of deserve to start winning more and be taken more seriously. And the best ended. Luke Gallows got the win. Kazarian went for the crossface chicken wing. Carl Anderson got involved, grabbed at Kazarian. Kazarian fought off Carl Anderson. Gallows hit the Gallows pole and got the win. So Luke Gallows beat Frank Kazarian, and that's how. After the match, the Good Brothers beat down Kazarian and hit the Magic Killer. Kenny Omega came down with Don Callis. Kenny Omega cut a little promo. So that was good. Hangman come down, got involved. Callis talked a little bit. Omega fled. Page hit the buckshot layered on Carl Anderson. Next we got Dasha backstage with Brian Cage. And they, cut a promo. Team Taz is celebrating. Brian Cage cut a quick promo with Dasha. The next was Best Friends come out with Wheeler Utah. Darby Allin against Wheeler Utah. This was a good match. I like Wheeler Utah. Saw him wrestle recently in the Ring of Honor a few times. He's a good wrestler. I figured this would be a good match, and it didn't disappoint. It was a good match. Back and forth, good hard-fought physical match between Darby Allin and Wheeler Utah. Ended up with Darby Allin hitting his stunner that he does. He had a coffin drop and got the victory. Darby Allin got the victory over Wheeler Utah. After this, the Blade comes out and hit Orange Cassidy with brass knuckles at ringside. So it was good seeing Orange Cassidy, cool seeing the Blade, and seeing Christina. She's so hot and beautiful. So it was good. After that, we got a video package from Moxley and Archer. They showed the Bullet Club. Hekulu, it's one of the brothers of or cousins of Tama Tangaloa and Tonga Tonga. So it's cool. He's going to be in AEW, so it'll be cool to see him. He's a beast. Hikalelu, or whatever, how you say it. I hope I pronounced that right. Commercial break. Back from commercial. Had Nyla Rose, the women's championship match. Nyla Rose against Britt Baker. I liked it. I thought it was a good match. And you'd find out later on in the week. During the match, Britt Baker got hurt again by Nyla Rose again. Nyla Rose hit a Death Valley driver on Britt Baker. Britt Baker came down wrong on her arm or her hand. Britt Baker's hurt again. She was hit at the bare knuckle fight Saturday night. Back with a picture with Paige Van Zandt on Instagram and on Twitter. She had a cast or something on her arm. Saying Nyla Rose hurt during the match. She got hurt during the match, but she's not going to be taking any time off. So there's that. But I thought this was a good match. I was sloppy, but it was a good match. I was surprised when Nyla Rose hit Britt Baker with the Beast Bomb, and she only got a 2 count. Britt Baker kicked out. I thought that was going to be the end of it. Because to my surprise, I don't think anybody ever kicked out the Beast Bomb. But Britt Baker kicked out. If I was going to grab a new champion, I was surprised Britt Baker kicked out. But eventually, like I said, Nyla Rose got the Beast Bomb. Baker eventually got on the lockjaw, and Nyla Rose tapped out. And I liked at the end how she took forever to get the lockjaw on, and she kind of rinsed back on it, and Nyla Rose tapped out. I thought that was cool. So Britt Baker's still your women's champion. So good match, I liked it. After that, it was press conference with FTR Gibson and Santana and Ortiz. I thought it was good. They talked good. It was interesting. I liked it. Now we had Tony's commercial break. Back from commercial, Tony Schiavone was in the ring. He introduces out Andrade El Idolo. Andrade talked a little bit. Said he had a special surprise. He introduces Chavo Guerrero as his manager. Pac and Death Triangle come out. The rest of Death Triangle come out. Ray Phoenix and Penta. Andrade talked to him and basically tries to get Ray Phoenix and Penta to turn on Pac and join him in his new faction. Yep, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But it was a whole good promo and good stare down and all that. I liked seeing Chavo, and I liked Chavo as being Andrade's manager. I thought it was good. Now, I like Chavo. I like him. He's a Guerrero, legendary wrestling family. But I was never a fan of his matches, even in WCW. As a wrestler, I just never was a fan of his matches. I just couldn't get into him. But he is talented. He knows the business. He's very smart. He's like a nice guy. He knows what he's doing. I think him being Andrade El Idolo's manager is perfect. It's a perfect role for him, so that's cool. I liked it. After that, we see Christian talking. He cut a promo on Matt Hardy. Uh, Commercial break. Back for commercial. Alex Marvez doing an interview backstage with QT Marshall with the factory. It was good. The next match was Orange Cassidy versus The Blade. It was a good match. I liked it. It ended up Bunny got involved, screwed the brass knuckles to the blade. Orange ducks under the knuck shot. He missed the orange punch, but he hit a second orange punch and beat the blade. So it was a good match. Orange Cassidy got the win. After that, Orange Cassidy got the brass knucks, put them on, and hit another orange punch. Cassidy didn't put the brass knucks in his pocket. I thought that was cool. Then we get a promo backstage. Jericho with Alex Marvez. Jericho turns around and says he's going to bring out the most sadistic side of himself to go against Nick Gage. And it's this Painmaker gimmick. It's a gimmick he had in Japan, which I liked. Jericho had on the full gear, the face paint, and all. It was cool. The hat, the black fedora hat. It was cool. So I'm excited to see the Painmaker versus Nick Gage. It should be a really good match. Uh, so good promo by Jericho. I'm glad he brought the Painmaker gimmick back. Character back. So commercial break. Back from commercial, we had the main event. Justin Roberts introduced the Texas Death Match. John Moxley versus Lance Archer for the IWGP US title. It was a very good match, very fun. Kendo Sticks got involved. Lance Archer looked like a beast. John Moxley looked like a beast. They was using scores and hitting each other with stuff, busting each other open, a lot of blood. They fought on the floor a lot, fought outside. Uh, Tables was involved. Just a really fun match. I really enjoyed it. I just really loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I love death matches anyway. I love it stuff. Um, Moxley even used a fork and got a fork involved and was stabbing Archer in the head with a fork. But it came down to Archer got some headshots on Moxley with a fork. Archer hit a choke slam through barbed wire tables on the Moxley. Moxley couldn't get up. That's a 10 count. So Lance Archer is your new IWGP United States Champion. I was a little surprised to let him win, but I was kind of glad to let him win because he deserved to win. And also it was in his hometown of Texas, Lance Archer. So good for him to get a win. I still like Moxley. I like Lance Archer. It was a really fun match. I really loved it. Uh, Great night of wrestling. A great night of Fighter Fest Part 2. So AEW the last 2 weeks has been awesome. I loved Fighter Fest. Week 1 and Week 2 was both great, in my opinion. Uh, Excited for this week's episode of AEW. Great shows, in my opinion. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. Great shows. Uh, yep, those shows were good. Like I said, Ring of Honor was good. I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. SmackDown was okay. Raw was trash. MLW was okay. I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Yep. So that's all for AEW. Now on to the GCW shows. Now, we had the GCW Homecoming Night 1 show. This, in my opinion, was a very fun show. I just really love these GCW shows lately. They've been killing it. A lot of people bag on GCW and Deathmatch Wrestling, but I personally enjoy it. It's just very different. And like I said before, yes, they do have a lot of weapons involved, a lot of weapons, but they do actual wrestling with them. They're not just hitting each other with weapons over and over and over. They do wrestling moves. Not every match in GCW is a death match. Because I thought so too, but it's not. They have regular wrestling. They have tag team matches. They have lucha wrestling, women wrestling. They have normal matches. Not every match is a death match, a no holds barred, anything goes match. Not every match is like that. So, but yes, this was a very good show. I really liked it. I'll give you the results very quickly. The first match was Marco Stunt versus Starboy Charlie. Uh, Marco Stunt, evidently he got his start in GCW. I didn't know this. But it was a very good match. Starboy Charlie is somebody I've watched recently in these GCW matches. He's 18 years old, I believe, very young, super talented, very athletic, a lot of fun to watch. I'm a big fan of Marco Stunt. I think he does a really good job. It was a very good match. I really liked it. Marco, again, it's amazing me. He amazes me the bumps he takes, the punishment, the beat up he takes. He's just so tough. He'll go against anybody. You got to give it to him. So, really good match. Uh, but it ended with Marco hitting a counter and hitting a Dragon Rana and got the pin on Starboy Charlie. Marco Stunt got the win. After the match, Marco Stunt picked up Starboy from the corner and they talked and they raised hands. Marco thanked the fans, kissed the mat, and caught a streamer as he left the ring. So, really good match. The next match was Tony Deppen. You know, I mentioned him earlier. I've seen him in Wrestling Ring of Honor. You know, a lot recently. I liked him. Ninja Mac, I told you about before. He's another one, new guy I've discovered recently. His GCW shows. He's great. He's a luchador. He flies around a lot. This was a very fun match. Anything with Ninja Mac is exciting. I like any match Tony Deppen's in. Just a lot of really fun match. Mac kept trying for a 630 senton. Deppen avoided at the end. Hit a running knee to the head. Looked really nasty. Tony Deppen beat Ninja Mac. Yep. So Tony Deppen got the 1-2-3 on Ninja Mac. Really good match. I liked it. It's a very good match. Tony Deppen got the win. The next match was The Truth, AJ Gray versus Nolan Edward. I've become a fan of AJ Gray since I started watching deathmatch wrestling, GCW lately. As well, I'm a big fan of AJ Gray. I love his entrance. Yep. And I like Nolan Edward. What I've seen of him in GCW, both of these guys are good. This was a really good match. I enjoyed it. It ended up very back and forth. Gray and Edward was trading strikes back and forth. AJ Gray eventually hit a brainbuster on Nolan Edward and got the win. So AJ Gray beat Nolan Edward. The next match, this one was a lot of fun. Grim Reaper versus Too Cold Scorpio. They call him Grim Reaper because he smokes weed during the match. During the match against Too Cold Scorpio, he poured out a blunt and lit it up. Poured out a joint and lit it up. Was smoking it during the match. It was funny. He kept teasing Too Cold Scorpio to take a puff with him. As soon as Too Cold Scorpio grabbed it and started taking a puff, Grim Reaper used it as a distraction and punched him and kicked him. They fought back and forth. Really fun match. Eventually, Too Cold Scorpio got the win, but during the match, Too Cold Scorpio took the blunt and took the marijuana and took it and smoked it. So it was pretty funny. And after the match, after he beat Grim Reaper was laying down on the mat. Grim Reaper was, acting like he was dead. Too Cold Scorpio took the joint, lit it, took it again and put it to Grim Reaper's mouth, and pumped his stomach up, and gave him the joint, and Grim Reaper popped up. The joint woke him back up, so I thought that was funny. And after that, Too Cold Scorpio and Reaper and everybody was just smoking, and Too Cold Scorpio lit the blunt up and was dancing in the ring and laughing, and he walked back to the audience with the crowd and was dancing and laughing in the audience and smoking, so it was funny. Just a fun match. I liked it. A good match. So it was a really good match. I liked it. Fun match. After that, Alex Colon gets Drew Parker for the Ultraviolet title and the BJW Deathmatch Heavyweight title match. Now, this is interesting. Drew Parker is a guy I just discovered over these last 2 nights. Very good wrestler. He's a very popular deathmatch wrestler. He wrestles in Japan called Big Japan Wrestling, BJW, and he's the world champion and he does death matches. So now he's coming over here. He's fighting Alex Colon, who's the popular deathmatch wrestler in GCW. And it's title for title. They said Alex Colon just won this title, Friday night, I believe, in Japan. So he got on the plane from Japan and traveled here Saturday, 20 hours, to this show and defended the title at GCW. So it's a very fun match. I really liked it. Light tubers involved. Very fun match. Death Valley drivers. Parker does a lot of cool moves, takes a lot of big bumps. Colon's a beast. Very good match. Basically ended up, Drew Parker got the upset victory. He applied a modified rear naked choke, and Cologne passed out. So Drew Parker is now your new GCW Ultraviolet Champion and BJW Deathmatch Heavyweight Champion. So that huge is a double champion. After that, Parker's given a mic to cut a promo. Said he'd be taking on Jimmy Lloyd the next night at Homecoming. Yep. So really good match. I liked it. Next match was Shane Mercer versus Octavius Koga versus Jordan Oliver versus Braden Lee versus Dante Leon versus Jack Cartwheel scramble match. It was very good. I'm becoming a fan of all these guys here in GCW. Very fun match. I liked it. Octavius Koga got the win. He low blowed Jordan Oliver and pinned Lee and got the win. So Octavius Koga got the win. The next match was G Raver and Jimmy Lloyd versus the Second Gear Crew, Mance Warner and Matthew Justice. It was a GCW Tag Team title match. GCW and Jimmy Lloyd have heat from last couple years ago when Jimmy Lloyd accidentally injured G Raver in the death match in the same building. Last week G Raver almost died and bled out, and he almost lost his last career. And he injured his arm permanently, and he can't never tattoo again because he's also a tattoo artist. Yep. So this match had a lot riding on it. It was a very good match. Eventually, G Raver beat up his own partner, Jimmy Lloyd, and then stood outside and just watched and didn't help Jimmy Lloyd. Eventually, Mance Warner sent Lloyd to the floor, just hit a top-up crossbody, and they did a double cover, and they became the new champions. Second Gear Crew are the new champions. They beat Jimmy Lloyd and G Raver. After the match, G Raver go to the ring, gave a mic, cut a promo on Lloyd, mocked him. Basically set up for that match. So it was good. I liked it. This guy interrupts Frontman Jai, cuts a promo, says it's a big deal. Effie comes out, him and Effie have a match. It was a good match. Effie, if anybody knows him, he's openly gay. After the match, Effie kissed Frontman Jai on the mouth, on the lips, tongue and all. It was very different, but it was done in a way where it was still comedy. It was very funny, just because it was so surprising, and just kind of like, oh my God, what am I seeing? And all the announcers in the crowd and they looked at Effie's friend Alley Cat. She's got a oh my God look on her face. But it was done in a very funny, comedic way. It was very funny. But yes, it was a good match. Big fan of Effie. I liked what I saw Frontman Jai. But like I said, it ended up with Effie preventing Jai from reaching the ropes at one point. Jai tapped out. Effie hit him with a reverse guillotine, and Jai tapped out. Like I said, after the match, Effie kissed him and all that. It was funny. So Effie's your winner. Yeah. So after that, we finally had the big match of the night. The most pitted match I was looking forward to, Nick Gage versus Matt Cardona for the GCW World Title match. I already told you earlier on in the review, it was a bloody match. A lot of blood, interference, what happened at the end. Nick Gage got beat up, got screwed pretty much. Matt Cardona got hit him with a bunch of light tubes, hit him with the Renaissance, the former Hype Rider, and beat Nick Gage 1-2-3 in the ring. Matt Cardona, unfortunately, now is your GCW World Champion. Nick Gage was left blooded and battered in the ring, looking up at the lights. Told you the crowd went nuts. There was throwing trash in the ring, and Matt Cardona had to run out of the ring and basically run for his life. He had to get out of there quickly. So just a really fun night of wrestling. I really enjoyed this show. I loved it. It was a great show. I give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was very good. And real quickly, I'm going to give you the night 2 results. Now, night 2, last night's show, I already told you at the end how Nick Gage come out and Mark Storm, that lawyer, come out. But the matches were, the main event was Drew Parker and Jimmy Lloyd. It was a non-title match, but it was a good match. Drew Parker ended up beating Jimmy Lloyd. He did a swanton bomb on top of a ladder through 2 tables and through chairs. Very good match. I really liked it. Great match. Another match was Jordan Oliver against Jack Cartwheel. Jordan Oliver beat him. It was a good match. Another match was a surprising Starboy Charlie versus Jonathan Gresham, the Octopus, one of my favorites in Ring of Honor. Very, very, very good match. Jonathan Gresham beat Starboy Charlie. The Second Gear Crew, Matt Warner and Matthew Justin, new tag team champions, defeated Dante Leon and Ninja Mac. It was a tag team title championship match, and Second Gear Crew won. They defended their titles. Another match was the Dirty Daddy Chris Dickinson, in Ring of Honor against Cesar Bononi, AEW Cesar Bononi. This was a good match. I liked it. Chris Dickinson got the win. Another match was George Janela against Octagus Koga. Like I said, George Janela's been on the tear recently. He's been back wrestling GCW and he's been tearing it up. They had a good match. George Janela beat him. The next match was Iron Beast, Shane Mercer, and KTB against Brady Lee and Cole Radrick. It was a good tag match. Iron Beast, Shane Mercer, and KTB got the win. Another match was a guy in MLW, Calvin Tankman, against a deathmatch wrestler called Ruckus. He's an older deathmatch wrestler. It was a good match. I liked it. Calvin Tankman got the win. After that, Calvin Tankman cut a good promo in the ring, talking about fact all the fans calling out. It was his dream to be in a GCW match, and it was a good promo and a good match, a good promo afterwards. The next match, which I thought was interesting, was a new woman wrestler I've come to like, Alley Catch. She's very good. She stayed at MJF, as a matter of fact, in real life. Interesting. She went up against Penelope Ford. Penelope Ford got her start in GCW. The bad girl Penelope Ford. Penelope Ford come out, looked beautiful, had a really cool attire, like a cat attire. Looked beautiful. It was a good match. Penelope Ford did a good job. Alley Catch did a good job. Penelope Ford eventually hit the fisherman suplex with a bridge on the Alley Catch and got the 1-2-3. After that, Penelope Ford took off her eyelashes and put them on Alley Catch, basically mocking her for being a cat. Thought that was funny. And afterwards, Penelope Ford was like, ooh, ooh to the fans when she was running for the crowd, like, don't touch me, y'all, disgusting. And she was making funny faces. It was funny. So great to see Penelope Ford back in GCW. Big Penelope Ford fan. She's one of my favorite women wrestlers. She's awesome. I love her. She's great. So really good match. I like Alley Catch too. Good match. I liked it. So Penelope Ford beat Alley Catch. Then, like I said, the main event was Drew Parker and he beat Jimmy Lloyd. So yes, very good match. Very good night two of Homecoming. I told you how to end it, with whole thing with it's going to be a War Games match the next pay-per-view with Nick Gage versus another faction. Yep, so this was another really good night of GCW Homecoming. Like I said, I'd give it a 8 out of 10 like I did the other night. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 as well. So GCW killed it this weekend. Great matches. A lot of fun wrestling. Alright, so that's all for this review. I hope you guys liked it. I'll be back next week for another review. I hope everybody's doing well and staying safe. Happy wrestling. See you. Bye.
Mic feedback.